Hello everyone, it's Kevin Skipper. I am the owner of Vaping Convention Circuit and also the president of Vista Truth. We are an industry advocacy alliance nonprofit formed in Florida in April of 2014. So I had prepared a scripted video and I was going to do an advocacy series, and I probably still am, but after reviewing the video it looked kind of canned to me. Had on a dress shirt, and anyway, I want to talk to you about advocacy, how I would talk to someone about advocacy if they were sitting here next to me and I was trying to explain to them how they could get involved and help out with tobacco harm reduction. There are a lot of organizations out there, and you'll probably see a lot of reviewer videos, and they're doing reviews about e-cigs and the different products that are available and how they can help you get off cigarettes and stay off cigarettes and combustible tobacco. Some of them weave into their vlogs or reviews information about calls to action and different things that you can do to get involved, but there's nothing really specific out there advising people what they can do to have an impact in the local level, on the state level, and the federal level as well. So I wanted to bring this series to you and tell you what certain things mean in industry advocacy for tobacco harm reduction and how you can get involved to help out. So first up, we have consumer groups. There are CASA, the Vaping Militia. Those are the two major ones right now in the United States. So CASA.org or thevapingmilitia.org, and those are really the grassroots efforts, how you can respond to calls to action. They put out a lot of great information. They have both websites, I think, have information on different studies that are available to people to review that you can print out or email to your locally elected officials or state officials. So those are great resources to have. So visit their websites, check those out. Then we also have Vista, obviously, vistatruth.org, which is our website. And we're spreading to different states as it stands right now. The model is it started in Tennessee with Dimitri Agrafiotis, the Tennessee Smoke-Free Association. So you can go to tnsmokefree.org and you can find out some more information about how they were able to set up a smoke-free association in their state, get businesses on board to support advocacy and lobbying efforts in the state of Tennessee. That also has spread now to Georgia, and they're almost at the point in Georgia with the Georgia Smoke-Free Association where they're going to come on board hopefully soon with Vista and get a lobbyist to protect their rights there in Georgia. We also have the Florida Smoke-Free Association, which is already up and operational. Their launch was at the VCC 15 event that I coordinated here in Tampa, Florida, and they were able to raise a considerable amount of money during that weekend and also continue efforts. And they're doing great in Florida at the moment, but we still need more businesses to join the Florida Smoke-Free Association. I think you can find their information on Facebook. Just search for Florida Smoke-Free Association and how you can get involved with that. We currently have a lobbyist in Florida. It was the first lobbyist that Vista was able to obtain. They're working for us day in, day out in Tallahassee, and having the Florida Smoke-Free Association on board and driving membership to Florida Smoke-Free Association and being able to raise the funds to be able to sustain the lobbyist in Tallahassee has been very beneficial for us over the last 2 months. So we're looking forward to continuing the relationship with the FSFA. If you have any questions, again, just look them up on Facebook and you'll be able to find contact information, especially if you're a business in Florida, or even if you're a national e-liquid manufacturing company and you have a lot of business accounts in Florida. Obviously, you want to protect your interest in the Florida market, or that goes for Tennessee as well. If you're a national e-liquid manufacturing company and you do a lot of business in Tennessee, well, then obviously it makes sense for you to join the TSFA and have some of your funds go towards lobbying efforts in Tennessee. So that would be the state organizations that we have at the moment. There's another advocacy organization is the American Vaping Association, and the president of that is Greg Conley, of course, and their main objective is public relations and PR and combating all the negative information that is put out there by the media and the press who are looking for sensational stories. And they correct it with actual facts and information. And also Greg goes to various states and localities where they are having issues with anti-vaping legislation ordinances and testifies on behalf of the vaping community and vapors' rights. So they're doing a lot of great work there as well. I'm sure that they could use your support if you'd like to go to vaping.info, find out some information about what they're doing. It's fantastic work. Greg does a great job. We want to use the facts and data that we have seen through research to help change people's lives for the better. And hopefully vaping will be that alternative that gets them off of it and keeps them off of tobacco. And there's also another organization that's relatively new, and it's more of a politically active organization started by actually the Vista lobbyists in Florida, Capital Access. They began a organization called smokefreedefense.org, and you can actually visit their website. If you're in Florida, they have a petition at the moment that's circulating against 2 bills that are currently pending in the House of Representatives here in Florida. So you can sign this petition online. It only takes less than a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And the more numbers we get, obviously, the better it looks whenever we're able to present that to those lawmakers in Tallahassee. So that's exactly the kind of stuff that you need to do. And obviously, if you can contribute $5, $10, $20 or whatever to Smoke Free Defense, they're going to use those monies for the political action committee that they've established. We can then make some proactive moves in the state of Florida and beyond, so that we can use the monies collected during the off sessions in these different states to help influence and hopefully shape public policy to the benefit of vapors' rights. So obviously that's always the goal. Those really are the key players at the moment in tobacco harm reduction advocacy. Some of the things that you can do is on a local level, maybe go out and visit your locally elected officials, bring some of the studies that you find from the Vaping Militia and CASA's websites with you, because ultimately the folks that are making decisions and making policies do not know what they're voting on. And that's the biggest hurdle we have to overcome. They have misperceptions and misconceptions about things that they see in the media. And frankly, most of them are flat out wrong. They're bullshit. So I'm just going to say that right off the bat. They're bullshit. News reporters write things so that they be sensationalized and sell newspapers and get online advertising and marketing, and the more sensational is, the better. But sensationalism, unfortunately, has not saved one human life from dying from tobacco, and there's about 1,100 Americans a day dying from tobacco-related illness. And our goal is to present this to them, the electronic cigarette, to them as a viable alternative, the most viable alternative there is. So I would recommend getting correct information, facts, information that they can use, the locally elected officials can use when they're making their decisions on how they're going to vote and propose ordinances and laws that will affect your right to vape. And if you're a business owner, your right to do business in your locality or your state. It's very important, especially during times when there are no anti-vaping legislation or local ordinances up, that we educate these locally elected and state elected and even at some point in the near future, congressional and senatorial elected officials as to what vaping actually is, how it's actually helped you get off of and stay off of tobacco products, specifically smoking. These are all important things that you should be doing in the time when there is nothing that's immediately threatening your right to vape. So education is a key component. And then also normalization of the product. If people, one of the biggest ways that I'm able to use this as a tool to help me educate the public is by vaping in public. Of course, you don't want to be an ass about it. Maybe do it in a restaurant or a government facility or building. You want to do it somewhere where you're out in the open air, and you're maybe at the park or you're walking down a main street or something. And I get stopped quite a bit, and then people ask me, what are these? And how has it helped me get off cigarettes? And I tell them my story, and they're fascinated by it. And inevitably, they have a brother or a sister or a mother or father, or cousin, some family member or a close friend that they know who smokes, and they would love for them to try electronic cigarettes and vaping as a way to stop that terrible habit that's going to eventually kill them. So one of the themes of the Vaping Convention Circuit, which is not an advocacy organization, but obviously because I own Vaping Convention Circuit and I organize the events for Vaping Convention Circuit, advocacy is always, has always, and will always be a part of what we do at the Vaping Convention Circuit when we go to different places and have conventions and events and try to get smokers in the door and also present to them what it is to be a vapor, the products that are available to them, the great e-liquids that are available to them to get them off of and stay off of tobacco products. So anyway, just to wrap up this first and what I hope to be a series of advocacy videos, I would like for you to take away from this that you need to, if you're a consumer, you need to support the consumer organizations, again, CASA, Vaping Militia. You need to become members of those organizations, support them financially. If you can't afford to, basically my thought with advocacy is you can't not afford to. I mean, we have to help these organizations that are fighting daily on our behalf most of the time, if not all of the time, for no money in return. Everything that I do, everything that all the people that I've met so far, with the exception of maybe a couple, are all completely volunteer. They get no money for doing this. Their only goal is to see the combustible cigarette obsoleted. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully some of this information that you've been able to garner here is useful. If you would like to visit any of the websites, I'll post those in the description. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Please subscribe and share. There will be more upcoming videos coming out soon. I'm not exactly sure what this format's going to end up turning out to be, but I mean, ultimately it depends on how interested you are and the viewer in getting more information about how you can be proactive and help the cause of vapors' rights. So one of my, I guess my sign off will be one of the things that I said from the beginning when I got involved in vaping and advocacy. And you don't have to do everything, but you do have to do something. Get involved.